Can your employers read your emails? Official ones, the ones that the corporate has given. Yes, maybe no, or maybe it depends on some situations. We'll explore that in this video. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on data privacy. And as I said, let's explore if your employers, if the HR teams, IT teams are allowed to explore or read your emails. We'll quickly summarize what DPDP Act is. It's the Indian Digital Personal Data Protection Law, which is going to help us govern the processing of personal data in the country. Fine. So processing, of course, it could be either of the data that has been collected as digital or converted or digitized while it was collected on a manual piece of paper. Processing includes 5 parts. We talk about this almost in every video: collection, usage, storage, third-party sharing, and deletion of personal data in a digital format in your organization means you are answerable to the DPDP Act, means that you need to follow the privacy norms set by the DPDP Act. Processing within the Indian territory or processing for outside India, but for any services that are provided to an Indian data principal. And data principal is the user, the individuals whose data we are talking about. So that's about DPDP Act. Right? Now, what about your office emails? Is it data? Yes, it is. Is it personal? No. Officially, your office emails are not your personal emails. So my domain @ace-data.com, all the emails over here are property of Ace Data Devices, right? They're not public or personal to anyone. So it's a very important thing that everyone should understand. I think most of the corporate employees follow that they don't use their official email IDs for personal activities, right? Because then that could be dangerous. So work emails are corporate property. They are not your personal things, and your employers have to define the terms of use. There has to be a proper email usage policy. If it is not there, then they should make it now. With this personal data and privacy thing getting more and more awareness, there should be an email usage policy also. IT can monitor the mailing solution, has to, because that's there where they're monitoring that the mails are coming, going, services are up and running, but they cannot read your emails. And officially, logically, ethically, they cannot allow anyone else to access your emails, not even HR, not even them themselves. They have admin account. That does not mean that they can get into any mailbox and start reading the emails, right? However, in situations where there is a vigilance happening for monitoring breach or some security concerns. Now, when it comes to breach and security concerns, breach would be in terms of someone trying to hack the mail server itself, right? So, IT people have to keep a closer look or closer access or monitoring to it. For security, they have to put antivirus, anti-ransomware tools to take care of that. If there's a company policy that they want to monitor data leaks, but then this is important, that if you want to monitor data leaks and you make a company policy for that, you should use automated tools. In any case, if you have 1,000 users and every user gets 100 email, you can't go to 1 lakh emails every day to see whether they have those words, right? So you'll use an automated tool, put in keywords which you think could be risky in terms of data leaks, plus some laws, for example, not going to personal email IDs, etc. And in your email usage policy, define those and keep your usage policies updated. So that in any case, you have to do that, because it is not that you can allow people to make a mistake and then penalize them. They need to know that doing this would be a mistake that can get them penalized, right? So company policy should be updated, and this all should be specified in the corporate email policy. And if it is specified there and still there is a gap, the tool points it out, then the HR or the IT is not reading any mail unethically. They are getting a complaint and they are working on that complaint. And finally, if it is required for any vigilance or investigation, that's why you take backups. That's why you archive your old emails. Because if there's any issue, any legal issue, investigation is happening, then you have to read those emails, find out those emails, right? What does DPDP Act need from an employer? DPDP Act says that an employer should inform employees about the data usage. That's where email policy in this particular case, or even otherwise the data usage policy, is very, very important. They should publish clear data and email usage policy, and also what are the legitimate purposes for which they might be processing data. Legitimate purposes where the processing of data is in public interest, and actually vigilance could become a public interest, right? So if in case of vigilance is required, then that's a public interest because it is for the safety and security. It could, you don't know what kind of vigilance it is. It could be or concerned with the physical safety also. So then IT, HR, any other department has the right to get up and start working on it. The organization should limit access only to authorized people and maintain a record of who is accessing the mail server and what are they processing. So that if in a case there's a complaint or a grievance from an employee, they can investigate and resolve. As an employee, you can access your personal data. You should correct any inaccuracies that you find. At times, if you think you require, you may revoke consent. This could become controversial in case of employee-employer relationship because certain things could be employment conditions, right? So you may not be able to revoke consent in those cases. Get clarity from HR on the data use policies if you think you're not able to understand any of those policies. And if you think there's a misuse, you can file a grievance with HR or any department that has been created by your organization. As a best practice for the HR teams, they should update these policies regularly, use automated tools and keywords for data leak protection that I mentioned earlier also, train their managers on lawful monitoring to ensure that the monitoring has been done properly and within the boundaries, maintain logs of email services admins. Where are they logging in and what are they monitoring? For employees, you should not use your official corporate email IDs for your personal work, and you should regularly check with the HR policies, data use policies, email use policies, and raise your concerns wherever you think there is a doubt or there could be a possible issue. So that's about access to your emails by your managers or by HR, admin, or your employees. I hope you like the content of the video. Please press the bell and the like icon, subscribe to my channel, and share your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.